A jam-packed week it was in Quinnipiac athletics. Over spring break, we had a lot of men's ice hockey. Men's ice hockey was up in Lake Placid. Won the first ever ECAC hockey championship, defeating Harvard. We also have exclusive footage of the team on the ice hoisting the trophy. Women's ice hockey was in the NCAA tournament for the second consecutive season, hosted its first ever home game. All that and more coming up on this special edition of Sports Paws. Welcome to a special edition of Sports Paws. I'm your host, Morey Hershgordon, and today we have a lot of playoff coverage to catch you up on, so what's the wait? Let's get to the highlights. Men's ice hockey, Game 3 of the ECAC quarterfinals against Cornell at home. Quinnipiac took Game 1, Cornell took Game 2. Game 3 was on a Sunday afternoon, so the student section really wasn't there, but it was a lively bunch. Scott Davidson gets the wraparound on Gillum, 5-hole, Quinnipiac up 1-0. Just 30 seconds later, Quinnipiac puts another one in. This time it's Bo Pieper. Quinnipiac 2-0 in the first minute and 41 seconds. Great start for the blue and gold. However, Cornell all series, all the time, they fought back. The big red here with a goal. Matt Buckles punches one past Gartig, but that'd be the only one. Gartig surrenders the whole entire game. Second session here, Quinnipiac playing a little tic-tac-toe. Tiffenworth to McMaster to Pieper for the goal. 3-1 Quinnipiac. Later on the power play, Andrew Taverner the goal, 4-1 Quinnipiac. They'd go on to win 6-3 and advance to the ECAC semifinals. Now on to the semifinals against Dartmouth. Dartmouth, a surprise story. The 7 seed defeated Yale in 2 games. They swept the Bulldogs at Ingalls Rink. They come to Lake Placid and they get destroyed. Quinnipiac here dangles around the Dartmouth goalie, Connor Clifton, the junior from New Jersey, with a tremendous playoff series. He ended up being the most outstanding player of the tournament. Here, his brother Tim Clifton puts one in, deflected by Sam Annis. Cherish him, Bobcat fans. 2-0 Quinnipiac at the beginning of the second period. Later on, Soren Janssen, the captain, comes in, draws the goalie in on him, and Scott Davidson, the freshman, another tremendous playoff series for a player. The freshman with great experience, he puts one in, 3-0. Dartmouth would score to make it 3-1, but Quinnipiac would advance to the ECAC championship game for the first time since 2007. Let's get to that highlight. 3 straight highlights, bang, bang, bang. WW, what would be the third one? Quinnipiac, early in the second period, on a 5-minute major after Sam Annis got crunched at the end of the first period. And here, Tim Clifton puts it over Merrick Madsen for a 1-0 lead. Quinnipiac out to a good start. Later on in that same 5-minute major, Quinnipiac took advantage. What a tremendous job here. Bo Piper into the net, 2-0 Bobcats. Again, another power play opportunity, and the Bobcats capitalize. KJ Tiefenworth puts one home, 3-0, 12.5 minutes left in the second period. Harvard, though, would respond, as it always did, and as it did in MSG, but it wouldn't be many goals in a row. Just the only goal Gartig allows. That was Ryan Donato. 8 seconds later, Quinnipiac wins their first ever ECAC championship. Andrew Badillo was down on the ice after the Bobcats won it, and we have some footage from the ice of the team hoisting the trophy.
Great teams, and finally come away with one. It's unbelievable.
That was a phenomenal effort. You know, at times it got a little chaotic. It wasn't the prettiest thing on the planet, but our battle level was phenomenal in the second and third.
One of the biggest strengths of our team is our depth. We talked between periods. I mean, we scored 15 goals against Cornell last weekend from 11 different guys. So obviously Sam is a huge part of our team, but we get scoring from every single guy on any given night. So we just talk about our depth, and if everyone steps up a little bit, we'll make up for it.
Men's hockey championship most outstanding player from Quinnipiac, Connor Clifton.
We know we're a great team. We got off to a slow start, we just have to reset and win our game.
When you compete and you battle and you go hard to the net, and guys are forced to pull you down, then you're going to get rewarded. Or if you have the puck a lot, you're going to get rewarded. Obviously, in the 5-minute major, that wasn't, that was a bad decision on the Harvard player. But I think that's something that we want to go compete, we want to go play offense, we want to have think we had the puck as much as we should have had tonight, 5-on-5. Looked like we have power, and it was good for us.
I think anytime you see a guy come down, everyone on the team wants to step up. We knew the 5-man major was going to be huge for us, and that kind of turned the tides for us. We got 2 right there, or 3, I can't remember exactly. And from there, we were kind of rolling, and we got our energy going, the momentum, and it's never fun to see a teammate go down. But like you said, the depth that we have is amazing on this team. And on any given night, anybody's going to score, and we knew that guys would step up and fill the roles, and knock on wood, that's how it's gone so far.
That's a really good hockey team in Harvard. They got some high-end kids that make plays at pace. Big sheet, I thought was really to their advantage, and they beat one guy, and we have a second guy coming. They beat a second guy, we have a third guy coming, and that's how we won all year.
We know they're a talented team, and we got to take away their attacking space. If they don't have attacking space, they can't get the plays that they usually would, and that was our game plan, shut down tonight.
I think Timmy, Soren, and Davo are ultra competitive kids, and we've played them in the past and haven't locked on with one line. We really use 3 different lines to play against them, but I really thought those 3 guys would kind of relish the moment and kind of step up and become ultra competitive, which they are, and I thought they were great. We try to match with the team, but everybody played well. That shut line was excellent. The shutting line has been probably our best line in the playoffs so far. So we had a lot of contributions, but certainly Timmy's line was good. It's a great group of young men that battle, and they deserve what we got tonight, and we're proud of them. It's exciting to win locked up, and we'll enjoy it here for a couple hours, and we'll get ready to move on.
Quinnipiac with 2 out of 3 trophies that it once accomplished this season. The third, hopefully, will be hoisted in Tampa. Let's see who they play. They face RIT, Quinnipiac, the top overall seed in the NCAA tournament. The East region will be played at the Times Union Center in Albany, New York. The RIT Tigers upset Minnesota State last year 2-1 in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The other matchup, if Quinnipiac advances past RIT, is against second-seeded UMass Lowell out of the Hockey East Association. The Riverhawks fell in the championship game to Northeastern 3-2, and the Yale Bulldogs, the crosstown rival, the second seed in the ECAC regular season, got upset, like I mentioned, at Dartmouth, but they have an opportunity to face the Bobcats to go to the Frozen Four. And Victoria Rutigliano sat down with John Buccigross. John Buccigross called in to talk about the NCAA tournament.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Sports Paws special. I'm Victoria Rutigliano, joined over the phone by John Buccigross, ESPN SportsCenter anchor and college hockey enthusiast. John, thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
For the East, Quinnipiac was the first seed going into the tournament, going on to Albany. What do you see coming from this Bobcat squad?
Well, they deserve the number 1 overall seed. They are certainly among the top-tier favorites to win the national championship. When you get the number 1 overall seed, you do get to play the 16 seed. It's not a given, but it is the most favorable matchup you can get. But, of course, they win that game, and they could be seeing Yale in the second game there, and so that's obviously always an absolute war, national championship type feel. So that won't be easy. But they've played them this year multiple times and looked like the better team, not by much, so it will be close. So, it will be a difficult task just to get to Tampa. And certainly hope that Sam Annis and his injury is, won't keep him from playing in the games. They really could use him on the power play. He's a difference maker on the power play, and certainly 5-on-5 as well. And so they could still win without him. They have a lot of depth, but I'm sure they would love to have him, but that doesn't look all that good.
Quinnipiac's taking on RIT. Rochester upset Minnesota State, the number 1 seed last year. Do you see a similar story coming, especially with Sam Annis maybe not playing in the first game?
Yeah, I mean, anybody can beat anybody in hockey, especially because of the goalie. The goalie could just have an amazing game, and it can happen. We see it in college basketball, and we'll see it in college hockey. A lot of parity, a lot of good players, and got to be ready to play and get off to a great start and get a couple goals and really try to squash their spirit early and don't have them hang around. So obviously these are all conference champions are playing, and a lot of good players are looking to prove something. And obviously I don't think Quinnipiac, if they were to lose, they wouldn't lose because of a letdown or take an opponent lightly. They'll be ready, and they'll play a Quinnipiac game. Puck possession, play fast, but some days you don't score, and some days you might score once, and it might not be enough, and you might lose in overtime 2-1. So you just got to play your best and hope it's good enough.
Rand Pecknold actually discussed how important goaltending is in the NCAA tournament and how it can really be a make-or-break situation for these 16 teams. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Albany. But again, thank you so much for coming on the show, and we look forward to hearing you in the Frozen Four.
Thank you, Victoria.
For more information, be sure to follow our men's ice hockey beat reporters. They will be traveling to Albany this weekend. And check us out on our website, Q30television.com, and check us out on our social media at Q30 Sports. For all the Sports Paws staff, I'm Victoria Tiglano. Thank you for tuning in.
Great job, Victoria. Excellent job by getting an ESPN analyst and someone who will be doing play-by-play, not only for the Northeast region, but also for the Frozen Four. We're going to step aside for just a moment, but when we come back, women's ice hockey faces Clarkson for the second straight weekend. Let's see if they could get the job done to move on to the Frozen Four for the first time in program history. And women's basketball also had a chance to make history. Would they win their first ever postseason game? All that and more coming back on Sports Paws.
Freshmen this year have stepped in and really just eliminated that problem, doing the right plays at the right time.
I mean, it certainly seems like an uphill battle for this team, but Tricia Fabi is one of the best coaches at this university.
Bobcats hosting Arizona State. We'll start with this power play.
But she's strong. Good Lord, I saw her lifting one time. She could squat 3 of me. Like,
Oh, well, 7 of me then.
This week's trending topic is #that. We are your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news.
The sun rose. It was March 12th, another game day for the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team. However, it wasn't ordinary. It was the NCAA tournament, and the Bobcats hosted a regional. But for the second straight year, they fell to an ECAC foe in the first round. Just 1 week removed from a 1-0 shutout loss in the conference tournament final, Clarkson returned to Hamden to return the favor. Renata fast goal 10 seconds into the game was the difference. Quinnipiac's potent offense was held in check to just 14 shots, its lowest output since the 2014-15 season. Clarkson advanced, but was stunned in overtime by #1 Boston College in the national semifinal. Despite not reaching the Frozen Four, the past year was undoubtedly Quinnipiac's best in program history. It beat Harvard for the first time in 5 years. Regular season and conference tournament championships were also firsts. Nicole Brown, Nicole Costa, Nicole Connery, Lindsay West, Sydney Rusler, and Kristen Tamberg will go down as one of the most accomplished senior classes of all time. For more about their accomplishments, Quinnipiac women's ice hockey beat reporter Sierra Goodwill wrote a tremendous in-depth piece about their careers. You can catch it on Q30television.com. And now on to the hardwood. Quinnipiac women's basketball with an opportunity to win its first ever postseason game. Let's roll to that highlight. Quinnipiac in Maine, the John Alba Bowl as they call it, unable to get down here, so we provided them the highlights. Quinnipiac in white, Maine in navy. Paula Stroutmanet with the steal early in the first half, and it was all Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac was 11 for 23 from deep. There it was Adelie Martucci. Brittany Martin misses the scoop with the left. Sarah Schuh in the rebound, same spot. Martucci connects. What a tremendous job. The redshirt junior stepped up for Maria Napolitano. Here it's Edel Thornton on the kick pass from Morgan Mans. However, Maine, though, would play a solid third quarter as it tied Quinnipiac in that stanza. But Quinnipiac was just too dominant. Morgan Mans from the top of the key here, splash. She was in the top 10 in the country in three-point percentage all season long. Koiser with a bucket there. She finished with 23 to lead the Black Bears. But Quinnipiac, historic victory. Trisha Fabry after the game.
To be able to be a part of history is something spectacular. So I'm just so proud of my team. It's an amazing feeling.
We were ready to play tonight. We were ready for our March Madness to start. And for 40 minutes, it was really, could be our best 40 minutes of basketball all season long.
Quinnipiac and Temple, a rematch of a November 24th matchup in which the Bobcats won by 2. Here, there was a little bit more on the line, a Sweet 16 matchup in the WNIT. Sarah Schuin cuts the Temple lead to just 6 there. Going into the break, Erin McClure, one of her 4 blocks on the day. Tremendous job by the freshman. No turnovers in her time on the court. Donzania Fountain from deep rattles one home. Temple up 4. A little later, Aaliyah Butts with the layup over the outstretched arms of a Bobcat defender. Temple led by 6. However, Adelie Martucci, like I mentioned, a great job stepping up for Napolitano, gets the basket and the foul. She'd missed the foul shot, though. Quinnipiac down 4. Temple, though, would make their free throws despite an Erin McClure layup. And the final score, 64-62 Temple.
Be really my most enjoyable, rewarding year as coach, 21 years here at Quinnipiac. So thank you to my seniors and 25 wins. Just an incredible season for us.
What? In Albany, New York this week, 4 of Quinnipiac University's Q30 television esteemed reporters will be there at the Times Union Center to cover the men's ice hockey team. Andrew Badillo, Victoria Rutigliano, MJ Barrett, and Kyle Lavasser will have exclusive updates, exclusive interviews, and footage all weekend long as Quinnipiac makes its quest to the Frozen Four. For more information about Q30 Television, check out our website at q30television.com and on social media at Q30 Sports. For everyone in the control room and our executive producers, Paul Caracciolo and Victoria Rutigliano, I'm Morey Hershgordon. We'll see you next time.